And gentlemen, my name is Esports Money, ZSM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and I have a haircut. Got it all cut off. Sorry, I'm looking at myself right now in the on the stream output. So I have a brand new webcam. Hold on, I'm actually gonna grab the box for it. Box. Where's Boxy Brown? This is the Logitech Brio 4K webcam. This is not any kind of sponsor plug, though I may make a video where I try to sell it, or like make a review of it, and then be like, if you want to buy this webcam and support me, you can use the Amazon affiliate link. I've thought about doing stuff like that. This webcam is absolutely absurd. I'm actually at 60 frames per second. So if you're watching this stream at 60 Hertz, you're seeing my face at 60 FPS. It can also do 4K resolution at 30 FPS, and I actually it has an HDR filter built into it, so it's actually very dark in my room. I need to turn one of those lights up a little bit more over in the corner, but I look way more bright than I typically do because of the fact that this has HDR. So welcome to Pub Trash episode number 2. Today is the 18th of August. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Dota news and giving my commentary on it, my little bit of insight on it. Is there still film on this? I thought I peeled all the film away from this. Yeah. Glorious resolution, glorious detail. Always top tier production quality here. So today we're going to be talking Dota, and then I'll probably be streaming some Dota later on, and I've been thinking about doing something to replace my hero guides, or at least supplement them in a big way, so I'll be talking about that as well. So, first thing you're probably wondering is where the fuck is Wired Guitars? And he may be joining us, we'll have to see. I talked to him a little bit yesterday, but he seemed a bit busy. Should I move this over ever so slightly? Maybe. Okay. I look pretty centered. Okay. So, first bit of news, obviously this is the first show I've had since TI, which was last Saturday, and judging by the hat on my head and the wonderful banner here, America won. Just kidding, memeing. Team Liquid's actually a European team, which is funny. I knew that they had European players. I knew that they were mostly European, but I didn't know that the organization was actually Europe-based until they won TI, which is horribly embarrassing because I've been a Team Liquid fan since 2011. So, yeah, pretty big news. Team Liquid wins TI. Few highlights from TI, and again, I wish Wired were here to talk about some of the things to give his insight into some of the things I found interesting. But probably the thing that I found most interesting at TI was the lack of a serious draft from EG in the elimination games that they faced. It seemed like they absolutely were mauled by. Actually, let me make sure this video device is muted so you don't have two mics coming through. They were absolutely mauled by our friends over at Empire. It felt like Crit's draft. He was trying to do something like Puppy does, where he does something really unconventional and it takes everybody by storm and then ends up fucking up Royal. At least that's what I'm telling myself, because I was able to call the heroes that Empire was going to draft before they drafted them, and I'm not some sort of strategic mastermind. I just have basic common sense. You're picking a PL into a draft where Earthshaker's not banned, or Sven is not banned. You're picking illusion-based heroes into drafts where their hardest counters are still on the table. Why in the world would Empire not grab those hardest counters if they were still on the table? So, something I found really interesting. Lots of memes and general bullshit floating around the Dota Reddit because we are in between patches at the moment. Something I kind of want to touch base on is the drop period. And so there is a drop period. We don't have any, I don't think we have any hard dates. Do we have any hard dates? The drop period is open until May 16th. So yes, the post-TI drop period is not open yet. The then will be the post-TI ad period. So we don't really know what's going to happen just yet, except we have a few unofficial announcements about people who may be leaving. Technically, I don't think any of these are official because they haven't been filed with Valve yet, because you have to wait until the drop period is official before you can file them. So technically, everything's unofficial to my knowledge. That being said, it looks like Secret will be getting rid of MP and Kezu. Kind of surprising, but not the biggest of surprises. Alliance is going to keep Era and Pablo, and Loda is most likely going to be a player on Alliance once more if Loda played for another team. Be kind of absurd because Loda does own that brand now. So Loda almost certainly expected to come back to Alliance. I'm not sure what role Era will be playing. I would assume Era would be kicked over to the position 2 and Loda will be moved to position 1. Deshadow, so every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, I do a show called Pub Trash, typically with Wired Guitars. This is the second episode. I say every Friday, but it is the second episode. We thought about doing it last week, but we decided to take the week off and watch TI. If we had done the show, we would have been watching TI in the background anyway, so we decided to skip it. And we talk about Dota news and just general esports news if there is other esports news or gaming news. But the focus is the Dota 2 esports scene and the Dota 2 balance. So, the post-TI shuffle drop period. So, as I was saying, it looks like Fada and Eternal Envy. I don't know why people unfollow each other on Twitter when you're like, is that just something that Fada does out of spite when he's kicked? Like, I don't know why this is. I don't know why that's a thing. And so OG is removed. Honor has been kicked from OG. That's official. And he's taking a break. I don't know why people always remove every mention of a team. I guess they remove every mention of a team. If you're going on break and you want the potential to play competitive Dota and you're hoping for that invite at any point in time, if there's a big organization like Evil Geniuses or Liquid and they need you to stand in, they don't want to grab you if you have another team's branding plastered all over your Twitter or your general social media. That's probably why all of that branding was immediately removed. As far as who else is going to be on Alliance, I would expect that there's a potential for Ake there. There's a big potential for Ake. Ake was not really playing at TI this time around. And there's a potential for Bulldog as well. But when Bulldog joins up with Alliance to come back in and play in the professional scene, it's usually very close to the start of the TI season. So I would be surprised if he came back. So we don't really know what's going to happen there. So that's kind of a gray area. The Virtus Pro is going to keep the exact same lineup, which is cool. It's interesting. Virtus Pro performed very well at TI, I think. I think they did very, very well. They were eliminated by the people that ultimately ended up winning TI. So that was pretty good. Okay, sorry. Just making sure that I wasn't missing an important message. So it does look like Virtus Pro will be sticking entirely together, and that gives me another 322 reasons to cheer for PP. Woo! Na'Vi, they're getting rid of Pycat and Biver, or however you pronounce his name. I'm not sure how I feel about Biver. Pycat, I think I'm happy to see him go. Pycat, I would have liked to see stay. I think. I'm not sure. Pycat, he's pretty good, but I feel like Na'Vi needs us. Na'Vi needs someone like Dendi is good, and Dendi will always be their mid, and Dendi will always be the face of Na'Vi. But I feel like they need a star even bigger than him to bring that team back to relevance. They need some sort of really, really top tier drafter, or they need some sort of really top tier carry player, probably, or maybe a top tier support duo. Whatever they're doing. They need to have something world class. Dendi is by no means a handicap, but he cannot carry that team by himself anymore, and I think he's learned that in the last year. Mouse Sports don't really care; they're going to stick together. OG kicked Ana. I don't know who they're going to replace him with. I'd hate to speculate. Singularity, who cares? Penta, who cares? Secret, I'll be interested in who comes into Secret. I'm thinking Arteezy might come to Secret. I suspect it ever so slightly, but I'm also thinking that Arteezy will stay with Evil Geniuses on the condition that they kick Crit for his horrible drafting, so we'll have to see. Ice 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 joining Manitsky. I don't know how I feel about that. Mushi is there though, so with Ice 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 and Mushi together, they might actually be able to turn that team into a powerhouse. Maybe not a powerhouse, but the team definitely becomes a respectable threat because Ice 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 is a very, very, very good player. Ice 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 is that sort of like, he's that sort of star that you need to just control the game for you. SCC. Why does everyone love SCCC so much? I don't get it. So, pretty much all of my thoughts on the post-TI Shuffle thread. Patch. Patch is probably the most pressing matter to talk about today. So the patch is... we don't really have a date for it. They didn't give us a date. They didn't commit to anything. But I would suspect that we will be getting the patch before... thank you, Spambot. So I would assume that the patch is going to come out sometime in September or October if we don't get it this month. We didn't have much information about so to be fair, when Pit Lord was announced, he was released about 2 or 3 days later, and Monkey King was announced. We got him the very last day of fall in December of 2016. I speculate that we will probably get the patch in the fall, like the actual fall, like September, October area, because of the fact that we have more information on the 2 new heroes. They seem to be more developed than Monkey King was, but they are clearly not as fleshed out as Pit Lord was when Pit Lord was unveiled. That being said, I don't even remember their names, and I don't even honestly know if we were told their names. So that's a little bit concerning. Trying to think of what else we have going on today. It's very hard to make a show last for an extended period of time when I am just kind of talking by myself. So there's that. I think that's it. There's been a lot of memes. I expect to see a lot of shit posting on the Dota 2 Reddit in the following days because of the fact that there is no patch. Like, we don't have the patch. We just finished TI. Oh, speaking of patch and TI, Siltbreaker Act 2. So if you've watched my stream lately, I've been trying to get through Siltbreaker Act 1. If you're interested in playing Siltbreaker with me, feel free to add me on Steam. Razvul, do you think they are going to release new items this coming patch? I always hesitate with this sort of thing, but I would guess that they would not, because this is already going to be a massive patch. This is the post-TI balance patch, which means it's going to be, and don't get me wrong, we have 7.06E. It's very likely, not likely, but I'd say it's very possible we get a 7.06F, and the 7.06F would be a slight series of balance tweaks without any new content. When we actually get 7.07, which is the Dueling Fates update that includes the 2 new heroes, I would speculate that we are not going to get new items because we're getting two brand new heroes. It's been a very long time since we got more than a single hero in a season, like in a 3-month period. It's been long. It's been years since we got more than 1 hero in a 3-month period, and we're going to be getting 2 heroes in the same day. Additionally, that will be the big post-TI balance patch. So generally speaking, if you add another letter to a patch and you do that post-TI before you release a big patch, the reason being is because you're trying to fix glaring imbalances to help the pub scene and to help pros prepare for an upcoming competitive circuit. This will be a balance patch that doesn't just address the statistical differences and imbalances at TI. This will be a balance patch that is highly geared toward making a new Dota. So when I go from 7.06D to 7.06E, I'm not playing a different game. I'm still playing Dota 2 7.06. It's just a slight rework. If you go from playing Dota patch 6.86 to patch Dota 7.00, you're playing a literal different game. And that's a very drastic example, but if I'm playing Dota patch 6.80 to patch 6.806, I'm playing a different game. It is so radically different in terms of balance that I need to plan my builds differently. I need to plan the way that I play the game very differently. So that's why I think that, I hope you didn't click that link, Aaron. That's why I think that we will not be getting new items, because there is so much content that is probably already coming with it. Though it's possible we'll get new items. But I would say if we do, it would probably be 1, maybe 2, and they would probably be late game items. I think the early game got such a slew of items in the last 2 years. Very uncharacteristic, by the way. We went a very long time without having any new items. That I'd be very surprised if we got more early game items. And the reason I'm facing this way is, so you guys know, my stream output is, or my stream is here with the chat. The monitor you see is here, and then my OBS output is here, just to make sure everything looks okay. So that is what I am thinking at the moment. I look very white with this lighting. look very light. But I look very smooth with my 60 frames per second camera at 1080. So that's pretty much it, I think, in terms of... Oh, so no, that's not it. So Siltbreaker Act 2. We don't have a date for it. Supposedly the official date at which the Battle Pass expires has been extended until September 18th. That was the date on the wiki. However, officially the date was supposed to be September 1st or the last day of August, one of those two. So we don't really know, but I am speculating because it is the 18th of August, if we don't get Siltbreaker for another week, that they will extend that date until October. It would be nice if they kept it up through the rest of the year. Personally, I think it takes some stress off of the devs if they have, excuse me, more time to work on something like Siltbreaker, and then we get to play it for longer. So I think it would be nice if they extended it a little bit farther. However, they are probably planning for a fall major circuit, and now they're probably shooting their fucking pants over that. What may happen is that if you've already bought Siltbreaker, you'll get to keep or if you've already bought the Battle Pass, you'll get to keep access to Siltbreaker, and the rest of the Battle Pass effects will fade into obscurity. So that is also it's unlikely, but it's also a possibility. And the reason this would happen would be to promote the major that will be happening this fall. And Valve really wants to strongly. I'm pretty sure we're having a major this fall. Almost, in fact, I know we are. And Valve really wants to promote this major because they're not the ones hosting it. This coming circuit, Valve partners are hosting all the events, so Valve really wants to be on top of those events. Valve wants them to do well because that encourages their partners. When your partners do well, you're doing well. Valve's going to do well regardless. If Valve fucks up an event, they still own DotA, and they're still making a huge amount of revenue. If a Valve event hosted by a third-party partner does not do well, then that's a big deal for Valve, because that means that they're losing an entity in the space is hurt, maybe hurt so bad they don't come back. So I don't have the schedule with me. I talked about it in the last show, though. So I believe it's the end of November as our first major, though. We have a few minors before that. So moving on from the Dota news, I want to talk a little bit about my channel and a little bit about what I've been doing and some things that I'm going to experiment with. So right now, I pretty much just make jungle guides. I wake up in the morning, look through the list of heroes, I look through what's the most popular, what's got the highest win rate, and then I spend a couple hours tinkering around in the jungle with my hero, trying to figure out what works well. Trying to figure out what farms efficiently and what does so safely, and then I make a decision about it, and I make a guide and determine what hero that I'm going to make a guide about that day. Sometimes I've spent like 12 hours, put together 3 full guides, and then I have my work for 3 days done. Sorry. I'll answer that question in a moment, Raul. So after I got through, after I get through this process, I end up having a hero guide, and this is great. This is content. It's drawn a lot of attention to my channel. I've gone from 1,700 subscribers over the course of 4 years to up to 6,000 subscribers in the course of 4 months. This has been incredible for me. This has been a massive period of growth. In 4 months, I've tripled what I did in 4 years. So I like the hero guide format, and so I'm obviously going to continue to make these hero guides, but I may be slowing down on them, and this would also increase the quality of them, and would also make it so I'll be, especially once the next patch comes out, and I'll have to make my guides over for all these heroes again. It would be nice to be able to slow that down and go back and revisit old heroes and see what's different about them. And in the meantime, I want to start doing something that I used to do before, and it's something that I experimented with before in the past. However, I think with the appropriate YouTube tags and the appropriate YouTube naming scheme, and given the fact that I have 6,000 subscribers now instead of 600, I think I could be able to do this again, and if I can pull in a couple thousand views per video, then I would do this on a daily basis, and that is do something, the Esports Money Show is what I called it before, and I would probably just straight up call it the Esports Money's Daily from now on. And what that is what it was and what it would be basically a straight copy. I'm plagiarizing, I'm not even gonna lie, of Day 9's Daily. And what I would do is I would go through and I would find couple of replays, maybe just one long one, one good one, of a professional level player or a pub star, someone that's like 6, 7, I think 7K is probably going to be the threshold here, 7K and above MMR, that plays a hero really well, and I want to take a replay from that person. I want to watch the whole thing through by myself, and then I want to skip around to I want to go through and analyze it. Not the whole replay if it's like 45 minutes long, but maybe have a 20-25 minute segment where I go through the important parts of the replay, give my analysis of the replay, and talk about what that player is doing that is unique, that separates him from other pros or separates him from low-level players, and ways that you can improve your game based on what that pro is doing. And that's something I want to start experimenting with. That's something that I might do tonight. Ultimately, the goal would be able to stream it live, edit it, and upload it later on. However, I might start by doing it not live and then editing the VOD and uploading it. We'll just have to see how that goes. So that's my idea for the time being. That might replace like half of my hero guides, and I would enjoy doing that every day. It's also nice to interact with live chat, and yeah. Also, now I have a camera, so I can actually cut to segments where it's just my face, and I'm like, hi guys! So, Raul Vaz asks, what heroes do you think are going to be nerfed and buffed? Who was picked a lot of TI, who was banned a lot of TI? I think the only hero that was really seen a shitload at TI that won't be affected will probably be Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern honestly might even need a buff. Like, Winter Wyvern is absolute trash. Like, was not picked much at all. I don't think that Winter Wyvern is... I don't think Winter Wyvern's a very good hero. Probably will get a slight nerf, but I think the hero could be left alone or even buffed slightly. A lot of players, a lot of drafters seem to love it at TI, but it didn't work very well. It didn't work very well at all. It's one of the heroes that will be getting crit kicked from EG for sure. Other heroes that are going to be nerfed. Lycan will... I don't think Lycan will get a nerf. I think Lycan's fighting abilities will get nerfed and his rat abilities will get buffed. At least that's my hope. I think overall, the cumulative... the sum of all of the changes to Lycan will probably be a slight nerf. Nature's Prophet will get a slight nerf, I think. CK might get a slight nerf. Wisp might get a slight nerf. Darkseer might get another second added to his vacuum cooldown. Axe will probably get a buff. Huskar will probably get... He might be left alone. He might be left alone. He was used a little bit of TI. Why don't I just, like, Google this, y'all? Highest pick rate heroes TI Dota buff. I'm sure Dota buff has a wonderful article on this. Here we go. So, the most picked and banned heroes at TI7 were Nightstalker, Batrider, Nyx, Puck, Earthtaker, Lich, Sven, Sand King, Faceless Void, and Lycan. I think a lot of these heroes, because, like, check out their win rate. So, Nyx almost certainly will get a nerf because he had such a high pick rate and such a high win rate, and he was banned in 60% of all matches. Like, no one wants to play with the Nyx. Like, no one wants to play against the Nyx. The combined pick ban percentage, if it's over 50, shit's getting picked. Sand King might be left alone just because these numbers are so low. Void might also be left alone, but I'm not sure. Void, I think, will get a slight nerf. I think Lycan will get buffs to his pushing ability and nerfs to his fighting ability that will culminate in a slight nerf. I think Lich will get a slight nerf. I think Earthshaker will get a significant nerf. Puck will get a significant nerf. Nyx will get a significant nerf. Batrider and Nightstalker I'm kind of on the fence about. Because Bat and, like, the win rate for Batrider was pretty abysmal. Like, it was pretty damn bad. The Nightstalker win rate is eh. Puck win rate was also pretty bad, but Puck was just... when you watch those games, the reason that those games are lost didn't seem to be because of Puck. Puck was so good. I think Puck might be left alone. He might actually be left alone. One hero that's not on this is Death Prophet, and I think Death Prophet will get a nerf. because Death Prophet just hits the puck so hard. She'll probably get a nerf. In need of a nerf, Nyx. Oh, sorry, I skipped it. I glossed over Sven. Sven is 100% getting a nerf. Sven is 100% getting a nerf. There's never a time where Sven looked like a bad choice in all of TI. There's never... You could almost first pick Sven every game. Sven was that good at TI. You could first pick a Sven and then draft around him every game. And Sven is a very good hero, but he's not supposed to be that good. He's not supposed to be that flexible. He's supposed to be a good hero that's okay in most situations, great in some, and shit in some. He's a very, in terms of situations where he's good versus bad, he's very balanced in that respect. And at TI, it didn't feel like that as a spectator that has played the game for years, that has played the game at a decent level for years. In watching those matches, it never felt like it was a bad time for Sven. Heroes in need of a buff. Clock needs a buff. Sand King. Again, because they're high pick rate, I don't know if Sand King... I don't think Sand King and Faceless will get buffs. I actually imagine Sand King gets a minor nerf because of how good his Caustic was. It made it look like he just had way too easy of a time in the lane. And Faceless, I don't even want to give an opinion on. I think he might give a slight nerf. I think illusion-based heroes, in general, will get slight buffs overall from the upcoming patch, just because of how shit they were at TI. Like, just because of how good Sven was, I think illusion-based heroes get a buff. So that's my take on all of this. I will maybe be doing some analysis and uploading the video, like try to do like a esports money show episode 1. And upload the footage later on today. We'll see. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to start looking at replays. Sorry Wired was not able to join us today. And worst case scenario, you'll probably see me streaming some Nature's Prophet later. I've been grinding a lot of Dota lately, and it's pretty much all Nature's Prophet. I think Nature's Prophet is better than Lycan right now. I never thought the words would leave my mouth. But in the current state of the game, I think Nature's Prophet is a better hero than Lycan. And it's a better rat than Lycan. And typically Lycan in the past has been the better rat. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Pub Trash Episode 2. Sorry we only went for about half an hour today. I typically clear a full hour for me, up to 2 hours, depending on what kind of situation we're looking at. But Wired was unable to join us today, and I go through topics much more quickly when I am by myself. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll make this VOD public. See ya! Oh, one last thing. If you have been watching my channel, make sure that, and you were subscribed, make sure that you are still subscribed, because I've been told by a lot of people that they were getting unsubscribed by YouTube. It's a bug with the YouTube system. So hit those subscribe buttons. If you were... Make sure you're subscribed. And if you like the video, hit the like button too. And thanks so much. I'll see you guys later.